Hello everyone, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so happy to have you guys here. And we're going to dive right into your reading today. I'm kind of excited about this reading. It's going to be bright and colorful. A lot of just classic, amazing decks, really yummy. I don't know why that's what I wanted to say about them, but that's what we're saying about them. We're having yummy tarot card decks today. I do like to start my readings by thanking those of you who have been with me and who watch my videos and like and share and comment and have subscribed. You guys are amazing, and you truly keep me coming back day after day with your beautiful comments and all your signs and synchronicities and just your messages of encouragement. I deeply appreciate them. You guys are really fantastic. I could not ask for more. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm super happy to have you here. I do hope that if you find a message that resonates with you, you'll consider joining us by subscribing. And leave us a comment and let us know. All right, here we go, guys. Keep in mind, this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. For Pisces, please, Spirit, what do you have for Pisces? For Pisces, for my Pisces, please, Spirit, what do you have for Pisces? Wow. Man, oh man, oh man. Okay, I'm getting two strong messages right off the bat. And, you know, this is a general reading, so there are multiple messages that can come from these cards. And please always consult your own intuition. If these cards are saying something to you, trust that. You know, listen to that. So you have building blocks on the bottom of the deck. And you see how she's standing here on, okay, wow, that was very prophetic. She's standing here and it's like she's looking for someone. She's all by herself, but she's like looking for someone. For some of you, this may be that you have really built your life up. You've really created a very stable foundation for yourself, and you're looking for that person to share it with. Baba, no, Bhakti. Oh, it's okay, Baba. Okay, for others of you, this is someone where you were building something with them, and maybe something happened where you went into separation, or there's been some kind of silence or some kind of stagnancy, some kind of, maybe even we got comfortable here at this spot and it doesn't seem to be growing, and you're wondering when it's going to continue to grow. Or you were building something with someone and they may have left, or there may have been space, or you may have decided to take a break. And you're wondering, are you coming back? Are we going to continue to build this? Look, there's still much more to be done here. They may be reaching out to you. Okay. Time is a factor. Time is a factor. This is interesting. So for some of you, this could be, it's been a while since you've heard from someone and they feel that like so much time is passing that it's going to be super awkward or weird or strange for them to be reaching out to you again. Maybe they already feel this way, or maybe they feel like they're on the brink of that. For others of you, there is this feeling of how do I even want to say this? If you're someone that was building something with someone and it didn't necessarily end, but it hasn't really experienced a deeper level of growth, or you're waiting for a deeper level of commitment, it feels like there is some limitation either on how long you're willing to wait, or for some reason, I feel this energy of there being a finite amount of time. Like, if you're working on a project with this person, or there's something that somehow brought you together, it's like it has I'm getting an expiration date. Like there is a point where this is coming to an end or coming to a close. Your excuse or your reason for being together on a daily basis or something will end. Like it will come to a close at some point. And it's like, you know that, and you're wondering, well, will that just be the end of this, or are we going to commit to each other and have some kind of opportunity to pursue this on a further level? That is actually coming through kind of strong, but it's feeling very specific. So just take what resonates and leave the rest. If you are, if you're someone that has really worked hard to build your life to a place where you feel really strong and solid and like you're ready for someone, but it's hard to find someone when you've done that, because when you've done the work and when you've created this space for yourself, you want someone who's going to add to that. You also want someone who's not going to be intimidated or threatened by that. And so there's kind of this energy of it being, it's almost like you've gotten so high with yourself that it's sort of hard. You look around and there's not very many people there, that are even able to sort of build with you on that level or even match you vibrationally. And so it's kind of like, but I still feel in this energy, this, I have faith they're coming. It's just like, where and when are they coming? For some of you, there could be a biological clock kind of energy with this tick-tock. I feel that. I also feel sort of, I'm really getting into the best years of my life or something. This is the time when I really saw myself, having someone to travel with or to, explore life with, and it's like every moment seems precious and fleeting. Right here, I've been listening to a lot of Dharma talks from the Plum Village, which is the community of Thich Nhat Hanh. And they call that community the community of the present moment. And one of the monks that was giving a Dharma talk was talking about how it seems very different to come in first place than to come in last place. Those don't seem like they're happening simultaneously. They don't seem like they're happening at the same time. It's also very different to come in last place than it is to come in first place. Those things don't seem like they're, in the same, sharing the same moment, that it's a very different time, right? Yet they are both happening in the present moment for that person's experience, right? I don't even know how to really, without going into some big thing, really talk about this. But after listening to these Dharma talks, I was meditating and I had this feeling, right, of this ship with this anchor, and the anchor was labeled the past. And you know how when a ship drops anchor, it can only go so much in any direction from that anchor. And so it's sort of the thing that grounds us or sort of holds us in place, or, really defines where we can actually go, where we can actually move. And it's sort of the same with the future in a way, because the future holds its own limiting things. What we believe is possible, if we only believe that a certain thing is possible, then we are limited by that. Our future is limited by that, because what we think, that's what we call into being. So if we think, man, if I don't find someone by this amount of time, then I'm going to be by myself, that creates a lot of anxiety. Also, if we look to the past and our past experiences and having been disappointed and feeling like, well, there isn't anyone that can meet these standards, we may actually be overlooking. I actually heard it, overlooking. Like we may not be seeing the actual potential in the people around us, or in maybe possibly someone in particular, because we're sort of defining people or putting people in categories or based on our past experience. Like, oh, this is who you are because you came at me with this energy, or this is who you are because you're driving this truck. I don't know if you guys watched Joe Pickett on, I don't know what it's on, Hulu, Netflix, Paramount, something like that. I watched it with my husband, and in it there's the mom of the daughter. She's looking for this someone wealthy to sort of take care of her and keep her to the lifestyle to which she's been accustomed. And when we meet her, she's found that guy, and she's decorated this house and everything, and he gets arrested for like some kind of illegal financial dealings. And so it's like, you know, what it's giving me here is just be willing to pick up that anchor and be willing to look at everything and be open to everything just as it presents itself in the present moment, without trying to qualify something or quantify something as, you know, based on my past experience, you are like this or you are like this. Always listen to your own intuition. I'm definitely not telling you to ignore your intuition, but what I'm talking about is different. It's that voice inside your head that's like, oh, you know, because I'll tell you, like, my mom told me that my husband would never be able to support me to the lifestyle to which I've been accustomed. That's what she told me the night before I got married. She was like, I don't even know why you're doing this anyway. And I can't imagine my life without my husband. He's amazing. Thank God I didn't look at him like that, you know. But I don't know. I'm just getting something around that. Like, sometimes we focus in on the wrong things. Sometimes, you know, time is a human construct. And so sometimes we give power, we give our power away to things that, you know, cause us stress, cause us anxiety, cause us to sort of become depressed and disappointed and disenchanted with life. And those things all lower our vibration and make it harder for us to find what we're looking for. Or, you know, kind of repel what we're looking for from coming toward us. You know, they cause us to repel instead of attract what we want. So this is giving me sort of a stay in the present moment and understand that, you know, time is kind of no consequence unless you give your power to it, unless you say should a lot. I should be somewhere else, or this should be happening, or I shouldn't this, or I shouldn't that, or I, you know, those kinds of things. It's a slippery slope. So there's just something here about that, and hopefully something in what I just said helps or is something, okay? I don't know. But with the higher power card, you know, this is that energy of surrendering. It's also surrendering to our own higher self. And our own higher self knows that everything is working out exactly as it should, as it's supposed to, in our highest and best good. You know, and it's sort of trusting that and trusting our intuitive powers to sort of guide us and to really listen to them. And there is, between this TikTok and this higher power, there is this, you know, knowing the difference between what our ego sounds like and what our intuition sounds like. And, you know, it's always a good exercise to look at that. You can Google it to get specific phrases that will kind of blow your mind, because you'll recognize them then when you start saying them. But instead of going through all that, I'm just going to tell you that the ego is fear-based and the intuition is love-based. So you can kind of determine, like, you can ask yourself, is this fear-based or is this love-based? You know what I mean? And so anyway, I offer you that. I also offer you that a lot of times, you know, when we surrender something, when we let it go, when we trust, when we say, universe, I feel like I've done everything I can. I put my life together in the best possible way. I'm waiting for either this person or a person or my person or a soulmate or whatever it is you're waiting for. A reciprocal relationship that honors and respects me. I'm putting it in your hands. I've done everything I can with my free will choices. I'm going to continue to do everything I can with my free will choices, but I'm putting it in your hands. I'm surrendering it to you, and I trust you, and I believe in you that whatever is in my highest and best good, what is meant for me, you know, will come to me. I'm ready for it. I'm open to receiving it. And then look, here's the materialization of that. Here's the soulmate. So let's dive in. like I said, I definitely have the feeling that some of you already know this person. You may have some kind of relationship established that you may be waiting for it to get to a deeper level. Others of you, it may have been something that you were building that someone kind of maybe even abruptly left. Others of you, I feel like it's something where you were like, I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to do everything I possibly can for myself. Yeah, guys, like, oh my. You know, I'm going to do everything that I can. Oh my God. I'm going to do everything that I can to make my life, to make myself the best self I can make, which is all we really can do. That's the best thing we can do for anyone, ourselves or anyone else that we're ever going to be in a relationship with. And the collective consciousness as a general whole is work on ourselves, make ourselves the best possible self we can be. So yeah, some of you are definitely, I picked up on this energy with this TikTok, and I don't know, I can't exactly pinpoint it, but there are some of you who are kind of feeling very alone, or there is some kind of anxiety about ending up alone or being alone. Even if you really like your own company, I key into this, like, it's kind of that fear of like, if something happened to me, no one would know. Or, if I don't find someone, before this point, I'll have no one, I'll have no one. Well, especially like, I don't know, for some of you, it's like once you start losing your parents, once, well, I hate to be morbid, but this death card literally feels like death. But it's kind of like there's almost this, like, I'm facing this future moment, because the anxiety denotes the future. I'm facing this moment, this impending moment that is unavoidable. And it's like, I don't want to do it by myself, or I don't, I want it to matter, or I want, maybe I even want to make a legacy or leave a legacy, or there's something here about, just understanding that life has parameters, or, yeah, I don't know, sometimes even as our birthdays approach, we can sometimes get really, aware of our own mortality. I don't know. I don't know if that's what's happening, or if it's in relation to you. Some of you may have experienced someone close to you passing away, or getting really sick, or something like that. I mean, I'm feeling like major life milestone around this energy. But when we focus on this, what we focus on persists, it grows. And also when we resist this, when we sort of push back against this energy, we sort of give it more power. So what we want to do is we want to hand it over, we want to surrender it, and we want to have confidence that this is a benevolent universe, and that there is a greater plan, and that there is a plan for us, and that there is something out there for us. This sweetness and this soulmates, it's just telling me that, like, this is coming. This is available. It's much closer than you, I think, even realize. So I don't know. For some of you, this is about meeting someone. And for others of you, it's about kind of letting something happen. Just come around in its own time, sort of thing. Let's see what we get. Yeah, gosh, you guys, I literally just said this, that there is a plan for you. And it says you have a mission, a soul purpose. Remember that. Then you have unexpected communication coming in. And then you have they want to talk, communication coming in. Vibes don't lie. And then you have hold tight, breakthroughs are coming. Wow, you guys, seriously, if this is not what I've just already said, this has all happened for a reason. Trust the process. Yes, this is exactly what I'm feeling. This is exactly what I'm tapped into. So I don't know, a lot of consistency here in energy and in the cards and just in the messages that I'm receiving. This is about staying in the present moment. This is about not allowing yourself to throw that anchor. My goal really is to pick up the anchor and drop it every day. Because what it takes to pick up the anchor, you know, of the past that's kind of holding us in place is to come to a place of peace and acceptance with it, and to let it go and to release it. Once we do that, we have no problem picking up the anchor. There's nothing holding it down. And we can put it back on our boat, and then when we wake up in the morning, we can say, all right, now today is full of all of these present moments that tomorrow are going to be my past. So what do I want my past to be? Let me write it right now. Let me make it right here, you know. Let it be about creation. Let it be about beauty. Let it be about joy. Let me enjoy all of these moments so that my past becomes joyful, so that my expectation of my future is that it too will be joyful. Let me make it abundant. Let me look for the abundance in these moments as they turn into the past, so that my future is full of those abundant moments, right? So there's just this energy of like, no matter what we're facing, impending death, impending doom, whatever it is, we are safe in the present moment, and we can take shelter here in this moment. Yeah, things are gonna happen, things are gonna rattle us, but if we are really calm and we are really at our core very grounded and centered and in the here and now, solutions come as fast as the problems come. You know, it's like every problem almost comes with its own solution. So there is just something about letting life take care of itself, trusting, having faith, staying present in the moment, picking up that anchor, you know, coming to a place of peace with that stuff in the past so that we're not anchored in it, we're not expecting it to happen, we're not allowing it to affect our vibration or the decisions we're making or the choices we're making. If we've been disappointed by love, and we've now set our sights so high and we've built our own life up so high that we're not finding anyone that can possibly match us, we need to look at that. We need to look at that. What are we really looking for? You know, yeah, it's hard to find your soulmate. I mean, I don't want to say it's hard, but a lot of times it's the barriers we build within ourselves that prevent that from being able to come toward us. And it's the stories that we're telling ourselves, and it's that anchor that only allows us to move so far. So yeah, all right, I'm just gonna leave that there. Let's dive into the tarot, guys. I get a little bit of every once in a while I get like a little panicky feeling. And there's not any good sort of reason for that. I mean, oh my God, not to be judgmental, but I feel that everything is taking care of itself. Yeah, this is so interesting. I feel like there was a reading recently where we had this Knight of Swords that it's like something is coming in to sort of reveal the truth very, very quickly once we let go of some blockage, once we release something that is blocking us. With the Five of Wands, this can be an internal blockage between the heart chakra and the throat chakra. The throat chakra is that fifth chakra. It's really getting me here that there are two penguins and that there are these two birds. Two birds may somehow be symbolic, or that might be a sign or a synchronicity. But there is some kind of blockage or some kind of delay or some kind of something that is being released here. I do want to take one on the devil, even though I am going to clarify these cards all together, the energy all together. I do want to just take one directly on that devil. This is some kind of blockage from a really difficult ending. oftentimes we block energy to kind of protect ourselves. And this idea that we are kind of separate, that we can actually really do that, like, is sort of misleading, you know. Like, even, you know, when I say I blocked my family, like I do not speak to them, that doesn't mean that I'm totally disconnected. That's impossible, you know. We are a collective unit, and so, and when we put up a block in our life, in any direction, we can't just specifically block that. We're also blocking other things. That's why it's important to protect ourselves, yes. Get the space we need, yes. Create the distance that we need, yes. But then it's important to kind of look at it and say, do I need to continue to block this? Or can I just release it? Can I just come to a place of peace and acceptance that this is what the relationship is now, and that that's fine with me, and that that's okay, and that I'm fine, and they're fine, and it's fine, and I don't need to resist it. I don't need to continue to engage in it. I can just be neutral about it, but I don't need to also have this big block there. Because when we block something to protect ourselves, we're also blocking good things from coming toward us. We're also blocking some things that we want, some abundance that we want to come into our lives. Because a block is just a block. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't have judgment of its own, right? And so, you know, our blocks and this energy of resistance and this energy of needing to, you know, protect ourselves and resist things, and it does keep us in place. It does keep us stuck with that devil energy. And this is some kind of stuckness that is from a difficult ending, or something that it feels like a pretty traumatic situation where the situation itself was very hard. There was probably some betrayal, some deception, some like particularly harsh communication even, or even gaslighting, you know, things that were said that undermined the way that we saw ourselves, that needed to be, it was a cycle that needed to come to a close and be completely released. Once that cycle comes to a close and is completely released, we are okay to release the blocks that we have also put in place to protect ourselves from it. Do you see what I'm saying? So that they don't continue to create blockages in our life. Yeah. I just got, like, for example, what would you say about this person if someone asked you about them today? You know, if I said, you know, how, like, what happened in that situation, or what was so bad about it, or how did it end? And you came at me with, like, vitriol and resentment and, you know, wishing bad on the other person and this kind of thing, I would know that you were not healed. I would know that that blockage is still in place because you're still, because that cycle hasn't actually completely closed out. When it closes out, we can pick up the anchor. When it closes out, it's because we've come to a place of peace and acceptance, and we've released, we've let go of it. We don't need to carry the story around anymore, you know? As long as we're carrying the story around, and as long as we're feeling the feelings when someone asks us about it, that anchor is still in place. So, and this is kind of a hard thing, you know. It's hard to release things, but with the Seven of Wands in reverse, that's what it's saying. It's releasing all these points in time that keep us stuck in the past, and let them go and let those cycles close out. They are what they are. And, you know, usually, you know, this seems sort of, I don't know, cliche or like light-hearted or something, like as if I'm not recognizing how difficult this is, and I realize that, and I just don't know how else to say it quickly for the purposes of this reading, but when you can look at something and you can say, I learned a lot from that experience, and you know, I learned it the hard way, maybe, or I learned more about what I don't want or what doesn't work, or you know, I learned a lot about myself even. When we can start saying things like that genuinely and truly, and that really is what we're taking away, rather than, you know, this person did this to me and da 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 da, you know, we can pick up that anchor. That's the sign that we're ready to release it, or that we're able to release it, or that, you know, it's no longer keeping us tethered to that moment, to that point. We don't want to give the past that kind of power over our present and our future. We've already experienced that. We've already learned what can be learned from that. And once we have fully acknowledged the lesson and we've integrated it and we've released it, there's absolutely no reason for it to continue to impact our lives or the decisions that we're making, or to keep us stuck to something that we don't even want to be stuck to. You see what I'm saying? So with the High Priestess and the King of Cups, this is that energy of tapping into our highest and best self. This is that energy of zooming out and looking at these things that are keeping us stuck, or these blockages that we've built within ourselves, from a higher level perspective. And even, you know, I get the sense of looking at it logically and analytically, which is funny because this is an intuitive energy, but it's almost like a dual authentication process. You know what I'm talking about when you have security on your phone or your email or whatever, and it's like you have this two-factor security thing. Well, it's giving me that with this High Priestess and the King of Cups, where it's kind of like zooming out and looking at it in the grander scheme of our life, and looking at what role we're willing to let it play, and what role we're willing, you know, if we look at life as something where it's like we're just learning these lessons, and then, you know, once we get the enlightenment from it, we're able to sort of move on to a new lesson or to a new karmic cycle, right? Wheel of Fortune kind of energy. Then when we zoom out, we can clearly see this had its place in my life, but it doesn't have to define my entire life. You know what I mean? It's over. It's done. The Ten of Swords is telling us that. It's the only part of it that can continue to hurt you is the part of it where you're not letting it go in your mind, in the way that you're thinking, you know? With the King of Cups, this is an energy of mastering our own emotion. And so it feels like there was some kind of difficult ending here that really helped you learn and understand about your own maybe reactionary process, or your own responses to things. And in seeing that, and in experiencing that, and in learning that, and in almost allowing yourself to be guided through the ending with your intuition, it's like you have learned other ways of navigating to where you can have big emotions but not let them sort of control you. You're still in control of them. You know, you're still, you can look at it, you can observe it, you can recognize that you're experiencing it, but you don't have to give into it or react to it or respond to it. Do you see what I'm saying? You can kind of just let it float on by. There's something that comes rushing in at this point. Let's see, we're going to clarify. You are getting the Five of Wands clarified by the Nine of Wands. The Five of Wands in reverse clarified by the Nine of Wands. So this energy is where we persevere, where we say, I'm not willing to give up on what I desire in life because I had this experience, or because I have this limitation or this blockage or this delay. I recognize it as a blockage or a delay or a setback, but I won't give it like any more power than that. Wow. Yeah, there's a powerful spiritual lesson that's been learned here. With the Nine of Wands and the Two of Cups, this is like, I refuse to give up on my desire to have a healthy, happy, fulfilling relationship with a soulmate. And, or even in, yeah, I'm just going to say it like that. And with the Page of Coins, there's a process of learning many spiritual lessons through our relationships. This isn't just our love relationships. This is our parental relationships, our sibling relationships, our friend relationships, our relationships with our animals, with our, kids, with whomever in our life. And so it's a path of many lessons. It's a path of a lot of learning and a lot of growth and a lot of, like, ascension. And it's like, that was just one step, that was just one piece, that was just one part of it. That's not the sum total. And it's like, this guy is trucking through these woods with this horse, and he's gotten off and he's walking the horse. I mean, it seems like they've been through quite a bit of the journey, but they're persevering. The horse may be too tired to carry the man, but the man is saying, okay, that's all right. I'm not giving up. I'll carry you. I will walk you. I will drag you. I will pull you. I will get you there, because I refuse to give up on this thing that I desire. And you can even feel the sun coming through the trees, like in the direction that this man is walking toward. So it feels like it's this energy of kind of feeling like it's just on the other side. It's just there on the horizon. Like, the best is still out in front of me. It hasn't happened yet. Yeah, see, there's a completion of a major cycle here. Wow, yeah, see, there's something here. Oh my gosh, you guys, seriously. You guys are getting some seriously spiritual messages this year, and just like already here in the beginning, it feels like this is a big year for you, Pisces, where you're turning a major corner, where you're about to experience very different things that are reflective of kind of the work you've done, and what like how you're seeing yourself, and how that has been sort of changing, evolving. For some of you, you were dealing with a relationship where there has been some silence or some separation, or we haven't heard from someone. With the Five of Pentacles, it's like something may have gotten triggered. The Five of Pentacles for me really represents those basic human fears: the fear of intimacy, the fear of abandonment, the fear of not being good enough, all those things. So it's kind of like someone may have gotten triggered, and that may have spawned this silence or this separation. For others of you, it can be where, you had been through a difficult ending, and you were feeling the loss, you were feeling left out in the cold, you were feeling isolated, you were feeling alone. You may have even felt like you really invested a lot in it, and that person took everything that you invested and left you with almost nothing, with the Five of Pentacles. And you're sort of healing, you're sort of putting yourself back together, you're sort of trying to purify and clear your mind and your heart and your soul, and sort of get ready for the next part of your journey, right? With the Hierophant and the Eight of Wands, this is a pretty powerful energy. For some of you, this can be where someone is coming in that you do have the potential to have a long-term committed relationship with. This can be communication. This can be, having a talk. That brings a lot of clarity, that is like, okay, are we on the same page? Do we really want the same thing? Are we committing to this? Are we going to make this more permanent? Are we going to make this, are we going to commit to each other so that our bond can strengthen and deepen? Are we ready for that? Are we prepared for that? There could be a real conversation around this. It can also be, you know, with the Eight of Wands, we call that Cupid's arrow. There could be someone coming into your life kind of almost out of the blue. You have that Knight of Swords energy with this Eight of Wands energy. It's a very fast moving energy, and there's a huge potential for a long-term commitment with this person. This can be a true spiritual partnership that is very balanced, that is very, I feel an energy of like inspirational or aspirational, kind of like someone who comes into your life who's always like, yeah, you can do it, or, you know, has a lot of interest or a lot of energy or a lot of vibrancy and brings that into your life. But this, whatever this energy is with the Hierophant and the Eight of Wands, it's kind of like confirmation or affirmation almost from the universe that you have actually started a new cycle. And I feel like, you know, when we start a new cycle, we don't want to bring the past energy with us, right? Because we know how that works out. We've already been there, done that. And our past, you know, we carry parts of that in our subconscious, and it affects the way we make decisions. And I feel like with the sun really bright here in the middle of this Eight of Wands, you know, there's this energy of sort of just clearing that space, letting it go, not telling ourselves that story anymore, not even considering that our past or the anchor of our journey or anything like that. It's like just sort of not, it's like, it is like picking up the anchor and dropping it today. Like now is when I'm starting to make memories that I'm going to hold on to forever, you know, that I want to remember every detail of, so that I can 10 years from now, when I'm looking back on the beginning of this relationship with happiness, with joy, I can say, yeah, I remember that. You know, I remember how it smelled. I remember what it looked like. I remember, you know, there's space for it here with that sun in the middle of that Eight of Wands. I've cleared out that past energy. Wow. Yeah, you've got the 10 of Wands and the 8 of Coins here. You know, clarifying this 5 of Pentacles, 4 of Swords energy. You know, in life, you know, especially when we've been in a lot of relationships, there's this energy of having, you know, ended up carrying a lot of burdens that don't actually even belong to us. You know, they're the other person's burdens. You know, it's like we can sit here pondering, why did they treat us this way? Why did this happen? You know, I was really bringing my most to the table. I was really, you know, trying to give this everything that I had. And it's like, this person just didn't accept it. This person just couldn't, they didn't have space for it, and or they couldn't receive it. They were, you know, with the 10 of Wands, our hands are full. You know, we can't open up to receive it. And then it's like, it becomes too much for us to bear, right? So then they project it onto the people around them. And it's an energy of, then that person has now had that energy transferred to them, and they're carrying it around. It becomes a burden in our lives. And the burden is oftentimes, you know, why, how, you know, and even just the, I did this for them, and I was this person to them, and I offered them this, and then this is how they thanked me, this is how they treated me, you know, no good deed goes unpunished kind of energy. And you know, carrying that, harboring that, first of all, that is perspective. And even though that perspective may be your truth, it is a choice, right? Because the other choice, right, there's always the choice of saying, I learned a lot from this, and this is what I learned, and I'm grateful for the teaching, I'm grateful for the knowing, because now that I know it, I will not have to experience it again, right? Because with the Eight of Coins, the perspective is self-mastery. The perspective is, how do I release this really burdensome cycle? All of these burdens that other people have straddled me with. All of these burdens that, are really projections of the people I have been in relation to and how they feel about themselves. How do I let that go so that I have space to embrace the new? How do I, what can be learned from this experience? How do I even use this experience to help master myself? And as we release those burdens and as we learn to come to a place of peace and acceptance, that is a lot where the work of self-mastery is done, honestly. Because if we're really being truthful about ourselves and we're really taking accountability for our own part that we played and who we actually are and the part of ourselves that we see reflected in the other, it gives us an opportunity to have this window into how we can affect that, what we can work on ourselves, us with us. And that's how we make change. That's how we close out cycles. You have the Moon and the High Priestess here, both cards of Pisces, clarifying this Eight of Wands and this Hierophant. And, this is... the Moon represents our subconscious. It represents things that are not in the light, right? They can't necessarily be seen. They haven't been revealed. And it's also an energy of deep feelings. And, when you put the deep feelings in concert with the intuition, like we saw the High Priestess with the King of Cups before, and now we're seeing the Moon card with the High Priestess. This is almost this energy of feeling something intuitively and then even asking ourselves, how do I feel? How does this make me feel? And why do I feel this? Where is this coming from? Is this actually coming from this moment, this relationship, this thing, or is this coming from a place within me that I haven't released yet, that I can let go of, that I can bring the light to, that I can shine the light on? And intuitively, it's like, I don't know, I only know my own experience to draw from, and I feel like I gotta stick with what I know, in order to even say what I'm trying to say to you in the most authentic and effective way possible. When I am getting gaslit by people, or when I sense animosity coming from someone or judgment coming from someone, I pretty much am almost always triggered by it to some degree. It always makes me feel a certain kind of way. And I recognize it now because instead of reacting to it, I have been observing it for a long time. And I've been aware of it, and I've been healing it, and I've been working on it. But every time it's triggered, I used to have the reaction of, wanting to fight it, wanting to react to it, wanting to protect myself and defend myself and explain myself and just even judge back in return. And as I have gone through my healing process, and Tara Brock is amazing with her rain analogy. If you don't know who she is or you're interested in that, you can look it up. But it's a way of getting space between you and what's happening, where, you sort of, you take a breath, you observe it, you investigate it, you ask yourself, where is this coming from? And you realize the gift in it, because it allows you, the N in rain stands for nurture. And it gives you this opportunity to nurture that space within you, where normally you would have reacted, or normally you would have, shut down, or you would have, whatever your response is to the thing. You can instead just observe it and then love that part of you, give that part of you what it needs. Remind that part of you, okay, hey, we're okay. this is reminding you of that past situation, but this is not that situation. And you're now clearly seeing this person and this situation for what it is, and you can kindly pull your energy back and turn around and walk out the door. You know what I mean? You don't have to sit here and deal with it. Now, sometimes if you're at work or whatever, you do have to continue to have a relationship with a person, but when you're really aware of what it is and you don't react, that people like that will move on because they're not getting what they want from you. They're not getting the reaction that they want from you. And it isn't wrecking your life because you're actually using every time they trigger you to heal deeper and further. And so it is sort of allowing something that's hidden in the shadows that gives you the yuck, that makes you feel uncomfortable, that makes you kind of want to shut down or run away from it or react to it, get rid of it, somehow get away from that uncomfortable feeling. It's giving you the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm not going to let this discomfort sway me or move me away from it. I'm going to lean into the discomfort. I'm going to lean into it. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to sit with it. I'm going to allow it to be. I'm going to observe it. I'm going to consciously and mindfully nurture the part of me that needs to be nurtured, and I'm going to let it go. I'm going to release it. And that is our highest, that's giving a highway, right, to our highest and best self, our intuitive self, to come in and be our own healer, be our own doctor, be our own nurse and mother and, loving guide, to give ourselves what we need. You have the Queen of Coins on the bottom of the deck. And, of course, we talk about the Queen of Coins. This is knowing your worth, knowing your value, sitting in it, not needing to accommodate other people, to please other people, to make sure that other people see your worth. It is so knowing your own worth and value that you don't care whether other people see it or not. You recognize that whether other people see it or not is a reflection of their own value that they put on their own self. It has nothing to do with you, which is another way of really protecting yourself from these responses that we have, because a lot of times the response is to our own worth being diminished or being, we feel being attacked or, whatever, to whatever degree, however it is, you know what I mean? Attacked may be kind of a strong word, but I can't think of something different. And so when we know our own value, when it's inherent in us, there's no way for someone else to diminish it or to affect it, because we know whether they see it or not, it is there, and it isn't for them to decide or not to decide. It is something that we own, that we possess, that is inherent to us. And so they can't bother us as much. They can't get to us as much. And we don't feel the fear as much especially when it comes to relationships and trusting people with intimacy, when we have that underlying Five of Pentacles that we saw there. It's like those fears come up. Yeah, sure, of course. They're a part of being human. But we don't let them trigger us to the point of self-sabotaging our relationships, or we don't let them trigger ourselves to the point of us overprotecting ourselves out of connection or potential connection. If that resonates. Oh, you guys. Yeah. We're seeing something clearly. We're getting something here that, and it's not, it's not a small thing. This is a big thing. This is a big, big thing. And it's something that's happened a little bit at a time, that we've been able to release the burdens that other people have saddled us with, or the experience of interacting with society, culture, friends, lovers, parents, siblings, friends, whatever. All of these things, we're letting them go. They're they're not so important. And as we let them go, as we release them, it enables us to come together so purely and so completely with another person, because we're not triggered, because we're not self-sabotaging, because we're not holding back, because we're not hiding, because we're willing to step forward in our complete authenticity. That's the other thing about the Queen of Pentacles. When you own your own worth and your own value and you've determined it, you are not afraid to be authentic. You know the inherent value of your own authenticity. You don't need to be what someone else wants you to be, or you don't need to fill some kind of role in someone else's life or figure out what someone else is looking for and then become that. You know that the right people are going to see your value and cherish you and never let you go, and that's what you actually want. With the Three of Wands and the Seven of Cups, there's an excitement about the future here. There is this energy of looking out toward my future, and instead of seeing it as a whole bunch of unknown, it's kind of seeing it as this ship on the horizon that holds many options. What is it going to be? What fantasy is coming into being? What fantasy is coming into my shore? What manifestation, visualization have I put out there? Which one is coming to me right now? It's not, oh geez, I don't know what's coming, I'm afraid. It's, I'm excited about whatever it might be. With the Ace of Swords, there's this energy of truth and clarity and success. And it is success over kind of our own, it's thoughts that bring us success. It's communication that brings us success. And, when we are in our authenticity and we have released these burdens of the past and we are coming together with someone in a really organic way where we're really able to be who we truly are and see how that mixes with who someone else truly is, like we're opening up to that experience. With the Ace of Swords, it brings about this potential success that is it's unlike anything we've ever experienced, right? It's not, but why didn't they love me when I was everything that they wanted me to be, when I tried to bend over backwards to be who they were looking for? No. This is understanding that was never going to work out. That person was always going to raise the bar or always pull the carrot just out of reach. They were never really, it was never a bar that I was ever going to be able to meet, because that's not even what life is about. I just see a whole lot of walking away from the things that are disruptive to your peace. This is that energy of it is not worth my peace. And it's interesting because there's this energy of looking toward the future and saying, what thing is coming toward me that I have been wishing for, that I've been wanting for. And when we look to the future with that kind of joy, that kind of excitement, that kind of almost expectation of abundance or expectation of joy, we are no longer willing to spend our present moment in places that are a threat to that, because it's hard to come to that place. It's hard to relax. It's hard to trust. It's hard to surrender. It's hard to come to a place where You are so positive about your self-worth inherently that it's unshakable. You know, some people possess it sort of innately, but it's hard. It's hard when you have to fight for it. It's hard when you have to find it within yourself. It's hard. And so anything that is a threat to what you have built or what you've created for yourself, it's like it's no longer in resonation with you, and you find yourself walking away from it. You know, you find yourself saying, you know, I have too much good in my life and I'm looking forward to what's to come too much to give up or to sacrifice any ounce of my vibration, any ounce of my self-worth, any ounce of my joy in the present moment, my contentment in the present moment, for something that is going to mess with my mind, for something that's going to be the thief of this foundation of clear thinking, of pure thinking, of not needing to overthink things, of, you know, just being at peace with myself. So if something is a threat to that peace I've created for myself, I'm walking away from it. No questions asked. I'm doing it. And so once we do that, once we clear all those things out of our life that destabilize us, that, you know, put us in this place of thoughts that aren't serving our highest and best, you know, or where it's like we walk away from someone and we're feeling like crap and we're going, man, you know, why do I feel so crappy about myself? I was so excited when I saw that person about my new job or about this new thing or about that or whatever. And it's like I'm walking away and I feel completely deflated. I feel exhausted. I feel, you know, it's like, no, anything like that, I'm walking away from it because I'm too excited about what's to come. And I have so much faith in what is coming toward me that I don't need to hold on to something just to hold on to it. You know, it's not worth it. I've done too much work. I've got myself to too positive a place to let something interfere with it. So for some of you, with this relationship, it may have come to that place for you where you were like, okay, it is unclear to me what this is. It is unclear to me what's happening here. And, you know, I feel like I've tried to, you know, be open, be available, be authentic, allow myself to open up and come together with this thing or with this person. And yet here we are, and I'm feeling like I'm unsure, or I'm feeling like it's kind of shaken my peace. You know, all coming together in a relationship to some degree is going to shake our peace, right? Because we're having to trust, we're having to push ourselves, we're having to step out onto the edge. But it should be something that we can kind of get back relatively quickly, or even have reassured by the other person, not because we're asking for the reassurance, but because that person is just reassuring in their nature, like we feel it from them. I feel like there is something here where it's basically like trust what is happening, trust your feeling, trust your intuition, trust this energy of how does it make you feel, right? King of Cups, the Moon card. You know, is this an opportunity for you to observe it and move through it on your own and thereby master your own emotions? Or is this your intuition telling you this isn't quite right, or, you know, maybe this isn't it, but it's okay because we've surrendered it and we know that we can expect it to come in the future, whether it's from this person or not from this person. This is like a steady as she goes kind of energy that I feel like is working out here basically. You know, when we're coming together with someone, it's either going to make us feel better or it's going to make us feel the Five of Swords, you know, confused, unsure, unstable. sometimes defeated, deflated. It's listening to that voice. It's listening to that inner, like, thermometer is what I'm getting. I don't know, this Ace of Swords felt like a thermometer there. And trusting it and having faith in it and allowing ourselves to be guided by it toward what is in our highest and best good, and knowing that if this isn't it, it's coming. It's right there. It's coming. All right, Pisces, I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to get you some message cards. If you're dealing with a water sign, you're getting children. Children are important to this partnership. Fate, this is a destined partnership. If you are dealing with a fire sign, you are getting boundaries. Firm boundaries are needed now. And balance. One person is giving too much in this relationship. If you are dealing with an earth sign, you're getting healing. Old wounds and childhood issues need revisiting and forgiveness. Forgiving yourself or another will help you move forward. If you are dealing with an air sign, you are getting warning. Don't dismiss the red flags here. And new love. A new love or recommitment to love is developing. All right, Pisces, this is what I have for you. I hope it helps. It was kind of abstract and all over the place, but hopefully there were messages in there that resonated and that helped. I always hope that. All right. That is always my intention. Yes. Okay. Until next time, guys, I'm sending you tons of love and light and all my very best. All right. Until next time. Bye-bye.